Hello and welcome to the Wool Player Weekly Q&A webinar. We're going to get started here in just one moment, but before we do, if anybody who's on the call can confirm that both audio and video connections are functioning as expected, and then we can get started. Thank you very much. All right, we're getting confirmation from Dudley, William, Dean. Hello to everyone once more. This is the Wool Player Q&A session. As the name indicates, we're here to answer any questions primarily that you as users have. Also to provide training on any advanced features or modules of Wool Player, to discuss and help you define the best ways to integrate video in your business, as well as to showcase new stuff that we've been working on, and just generally discuss use cases, organize ideas and criticism in our roadmap in order to continue improving Wool Player and continuing to add value to it so that you can continue growing with it. If you haven't already, we do encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, as well as join our Facebook group, as those are valuable resources for both keeping track of this weekly webinar, which if you're not able to attend, weekly replays are posted to them, as well as to connect with other Wool Player users and discuss your use cases and maybe get some actionable recommendations from them as well. If at any time you have a question and it's not webinar time, you're always welcome to contact our support, or just initiate a new conversation via this live widget, which is always located in the bottom right of our application. You can just click on it and say new conversation to get going. And if you have any ideas with regards to just improvement of the product, or you want to see what other Wool Player users have contributed and what we're considering as potential improvements, you can come over here to documentation and support and click on submit and vote on ideas. And that will take you to our product board where you can see stuff that's currently planned, stuff that's under consideration. So these are requests from other users that we have, as well as you have the ability to submit your own idea, indicate what you would like to be able to do with Wool Player and how important it is for you to do that. And that's really going to help us organize everything and roadmap it accordingly. All right. Oh yeah, one more additional resource for anybody who's just getting started with Wool Player. docs.woolplayer.com is our knowledge base. And getting started section is particularly good for anybody who's just getting started with Wool Player, explaining how to get your first video up and running, how to add features to it, and how to publish it on your platform. I think that's all of the housekeeping administrative stuff that I wanted to get out of the way. There's a really loud thunderstorm going on here, so I do apologize in advance for any thundering that's going to happen. Let me just close my window. Maybe that'll help. All right. So once again, the format of the webinar is pretty straightforward. So at any time that you have a question, you're welcome to type it in the chat box, and we can start answering them in the order that they come in. Just wanted to follow up once more, as I did on the previous webinar, with regards to the top priorities which we are currently addressing. So namely, we are moving our entire uploading and conversion infrastructure. So uploading of files and converting them and making additional resolutions and a bunch of other stuff related to that, thumbnail images and all that. We're moving that entire platform from physical dedicated bare metal machines to a cloud infrastructure, making it indefinitely scalable, so that we can grow it on demand, meaning that if we have thousands of videos that need to be uploaded and converted, we're able to do that instantly and scale that infrastructure, so we have indefinite number of processors which can handle that, consumers of those jobs. So that's something that we've started working on recently and are starting to implement, and just wanted to let everybody know that we're continuing to work on that and are looking to have a proof of concept sometime soon, which we're going to start testing out, and that's something that's been particularly important, and it's been a recent hindrance since we've started getting a lot of new users and a lot of new videos. That's caused backage in our pipelines, which were not pleasant bottlenecks for newcomers and new users and old users as well. So we've decided to we've been thinking about doing that for a while. Unfortunately, we haven't gotten around to it until now. So that's something that we're dedicating some time to at this time. And also, as you all know, we're working on the new more lightweight, more powerful, better performing, better looking version of the player itself, which is 4.2. And anybody who's not 4.2, 4.2, and for everybody who's interested in participating in that beta program for that player and providing us with any feedback with regards to the new features, the way that the new player is acting, the compatibility issues, and so on and so on, we are welcoming you to join the beta program and start contributing feedback. The link to that is also in the chat box. All right. The floor is all yours. So if you have any questions, I'll be gladly addressing them. I don't see any thus far. Hello to Stephen. Hello to Grant as well. Welcome. Do we have any questions? Grant is interested in the security feature of WooPlayer. Yeah, we can talk about that for a while. So security of video content is we can jump straight into HLS. So I just wanted to mention for anybody other on the call. So security is broken down into a few different layers, from both the encryption of the files themselves to the other layers of security, such as password protections and domain restrictions and IP restrictions, and so on and so on. So with regards to just the encryption of files, which make them unable to be downloaded. So I think we have a lot of details here. Video security. Let me just get that. Video content security. So I'll just share this link with you guys as well, just as a future reference where you can dive a little bit deeper into that. So as you know, when you are uploading a video to WooPlayer, by default, the Secure My Videos option is turned on. And what that basically does is, so if you're uploading a regular MP4 or if you're uploading a MOV file or whatever you're uploading, and we're taking that file and we're breaking it down into small chunks and encoding them. Each individual chunk we're encoding with a key which contains a proprietary mutating algorithm which changes constantly. So we're not even us are able to decode it, and each one of those small video segments is encoded in a different way and decoded in a different way. So the security of that is, I would dare say, unbreakable. Nobody has been able to figure out that. I mean, it will be really, really difficult for somebody to say, hey, I want to decode this. And I don't think that, and a lot of people have tried, so nobody has been able to break through that yet. So as far as I'm aware, there's maybe one more solution that offers something similar, at least in the same price range. There are other solutions which cost thousands of dollars a month, I think, which are offering licensing level encoding, which is used for like Hollywood pictures and stuff like that, on Google Movies and stuff like that. So aside from that, and those solutions are really expensive, at least in this price range that WooPlayer is offering, that encoding of HLS with the mutating algorithm key that's being decrypted differently on each individual video segment is something I don't think anybody has been able to address thus far. Now, as far as the question on HLS and Amazon S3, so with WooPlayer, as you know, you're able to add an integration, and I don't think I have one. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. I don't. With S3, you're able to. With VuPlayer, you're able to add a AWS user, which will be able to connect buckets in your S3 account, and that way you can upload to your S3 account through VuPlayer interface. So you can come over here to VuPlayer and say, I want to upload to VuPlayer, and you can click on use my own storage, where it says connect to external S3 storage. And if you have any integrations, which I don't at this time, they would appear, and you can select them and continue with the process as follows. You can have, and on that connection, you can either have the files uploaded or, encoded or not encoded, same as you would when uploading them directly to VuPlayer. So all options remain the same. We're just changing the endpoint where the files are stored in the end. So hopefully that's making sense. That's the combination of those two, and we think that's a really powerful combination because it allows you to in most cases, I mean, this is AWS that we're talking about, so everything is infinitely configurable. But based on the regions which you select and the types of storage and the types of incoming and outgoing bandwidth to those buckets, you're able to configure this to have let's say relatively low cost storage options, hosting options, and as well leverage our encoding infrastructure to make it all work. So you're able to have encoded secured files as well as store them on your S3 for better cost and organization management, perhaps on your end. We're not able to offer such low cost storage as S3 is offering, primarily because they're a huge, the world's largest data provider and storage volume provider. So we're definitely not able to compete with that. But that's why we've kind of decided to develop this integration, which allows you to leverage S3 storage and HLS encryptions or any other VuPlayer features. So basically, everything acts and remains the same, with the exception of files being in S3 buckets. If there are any more specific questions around that, I'll gladly entertain them. Clark is saying HLS encryptions. Stefano is also interested. Can you compare that to Vimeo? I have to say, without going deeply into it, I'm not that familiar with the Vimeo's encoding process. I can take a quick look, maybe just to see what's going on with Vimeo. Impossible go around. I don't know what this is, but let's just see what's going on with Vimeo videos. So Vimeo videos appear to work in a very similar way, where they are segmenting the files based on, I wouldn't be able to say based on what just now, but they're just segmenting out. So these are all different parts of the video. So segment 3, segment 2, segment 4, segment 53, 54, and so on. But from what I am able to see, I don't see that these are necessarily encoded in any way. So unless I'm missing something, I think you would be able to download these with any sort of video downloader or any plugin that's able to download videos. I think you would be able to download these. Now that I mentioned that, I think there are Vimeo downloader. Say video download, Daily Motions, Facebook. Does it said Vimeo? So I paste that URL. I click on download. And let's see what happens. That is that video. How do I download it? I click over here. No, download video file. So yeah, so so this is. I apologize. I mean, this is basically what we're doing. I completely blanked in my mind. So I forgot that for for Vimeo videos, you're able to import Vimeo videos inside of WooPlayer. So when you come to WooPlayer and you're able to enter in a Vimeo video, we're actually doing the exact same thing that these guys are using. We're getting the source file of the video directly, so that there's absolutely no security on these Vimeo videos. So we inside of WooPlayer are able to go directly to that source video and download it for ourselves for further utilization and serving it through WooPlayer. Yeah, so Vimeo file is definitely not encoded in any way. All right. Clark is saying this feature is lost with Google Drive, YouTube, and Dropbox hybrid hosting. Yeah, this feature, the HLS encoding, only works for files which we're able to handle during the upload and conversion processes. So if you're uploading your files to WooPlayer, or if you're uploading them to your own storage but are still uploading them through our interface, we are getting that physical file in our server for a brief time where we're able to do stuff with it, encode it, and then send it to a storage. When you're hosting files, for example, on Vimeo, we're never taking that file at any point or doing anything with it on the fly, either on the initial load or on any subsequent load. Basically, what we're doing is, so if I grab this Vimeo video, and I'll just give it some name, and this goes for any other external hosting as well. So I'll come over here to watch this video. Let me just set this up so we can see what's going on there. And I'll play it. Let me just refresh that just so we go from the beginning, and let me just see if I can find that. Yeah, so that file, that video file, which is loading through WooPlayer, is the file that's hosted on Vimeo's hosting server. So we're just accessing directly to the source of that video, where we're just streaming it directly from there. So we're never getting this file. We're never at any instance manipulating this file on the go or doing anything with it. And primarily because we have very little capacity to do anything with it from where it's being hosted. We can't like sort of temporarily store it on our end or do stuff with it, because that will be intensive and defeating the purpose of hybrid hosting. So hopefully that answers that. So all of the HLS encoding and advanced conversion features, optimization features, even optimizing the video for playback. We have a lot of people who are, for example, and this is one of the common issues that we're facing with WooPlayer. So when you upload a video to WooPlayer, where's WooPlayer? So when you upload a video to WooPlayer, one of the things that we do with it is we optimize it for web playback and ensure that it's playable on iPhones as well as on desktops, and so on and so on and so on. So that's just one step in the optimization and the upload process. But we have people who render their own files through whatever, Final Cut or Pro Tools or Camtasia or whatever have you, and they just upload those files to an external host such as Dropbox. So those files are just exported but not optimized for web play, and they import those files inside of WooPlayer, such as I did with this Vimeo video. So just imagine pasting a Dropbox link in here. So you paste a Dropbox link in here, and basically all we're doing is just accessing that original file which you uploaded to Dropbox and streaming it from there. So if you haven't optimized it there, it's not going to be optimized in WooPlayer. Again, for files that you are linking to, we do nothing further from them other than go out, fetch them, and stream them directly in the player if they are supported and correctly formatted, of course. Grant is saying, where are the Amazon S3 credentials stored? Can a developer savvy user look at the HTML or JavaScript to find out how to access Amazon S3 buckets directly? So so when you create a new Amazon Web Services integration with WooPlayer, by coming over here to integrations and APIs, and you come over here to custom S3 service, you are required to connect an API key, a secret key, and an endpoint for a particular region that you want to leverage. Now, there are further instructions on, basically for this, you're creating a new IAM user, Amazon S3, and I'll provide some more reference points for that. So this is Amazon S3, and you create that user with full permissions. Now, those credentials for that user are stored only in our database. So that integration is given some sort of an ID, and you're using it on the client side to initiate uploads, and it's being used to fetch files and so on and so on. But everything is done through that reference ID to the credentials which are stored in the database, and they're never exposed on the client, and we don't necessarily forward them to anything. We just use them for validating accessing files, and we use them for validating deleting those files, adding additional files, and so on. At no point we're exposing them on the client end. Clark is saying, can white label accounts still protect their anonymity? With regards to white label accounts, it's our goal to give them full anonymity, so no full player references in any way. So even if you upload files, or if you, I'm not sure, and I don't think that you, with white label accounts, you can leverage the external integrations. So, but I don't know if this question is related to uploads or not, but just generally speaking, it's our intention for white label accounts to be completely anonymous. William is asking, does 4.2 have all subtitle language convert? What do you mean? Like, does it? Current WoW player has the ability to add different languages. Subtitle language convert. Maybe you can clarify on what you mean by all subtitle language convert. Does 4.2 have all subtitle language convert? Like, are the, I want to say that you're asking, will the conversion process for 4.2 create different languages for subtitles? If that's the question, I'll just answer with no until I get a clarification. Stephen is saying, will users with S3 accounts be able to hook in directly through the integration or setting dashboard tabs? I don't see it there. Maybe cleaner than an additional click through on every upload for many cases. So will users with S3 accounts be able to hook in directly through the integrations or settings dashboard tabs? I don't see it there. Maybe cleaner than an additional click through on every upload. I'm not sure what you're asking, Stephen. Are you asking, like, can the S3 upload process be set as default? Be able to hook in directly through the integration or settings dashboard tab? I'm just curious, will users with S3 accounts be able to hook in directly through the integration? So if you're just asking, can that be somehow made as a default setting? If that's the case, I think that's a great idea, and I think that's definitely something that we can make happen. As it will be fairly easy to do that. So let me just make a note of that so I don't forget. Stephen is asking, S3 is in the integrations tab. Sorry, please ignore my last comment. Damon is saying, new user here. If I upload a Vimeo video, am I able to add the features WoW Player provides, like share gates, etc.? Yeah, absolutely. So where is that Vimeo video? So for any external hosting video that you're providing, you're able to leverage, as we just pointed it out, almost all WoW Player features, aside from stuff that's dealt directly with uploading the video. So if I create this Vimeo video again, I don't know why I just created it again, since I already did that. But basically, you have the video player as any other source for video, as uploading it. The video player itself and all of the features that are dealing with it. So the controls of the player, the appearance of the players, the advanced options of the players, overlays, video gates. Here, I'll just add the video gate there for that. So all of that is completely detached from the video source. So the video source has nothing to do with the with 99% of these features that are here. So these are all just player features, which are a layer on top of that original video source, which we're accessing. So all of the marketing tools, all of the interactions in the CTAs, all of the conversion codes, as I mentioned, all of the controls and options which you have available, you can leverage all of those hybrid hosted videos in A/B testing and video funnels and watch and win contests and playlists. You can treat those videos as almost anything. But I think the limitations are benefits of hybrid hosting is the name of the article, if I'm not mistaken. So benefits of hybrid hosting. So these are some of the common providers that we're using. Hybrid hosting benefits: limits of hosting videos externally. It is not possible to download linked videos. These videos cannot be encrypted. Bandwidth of source video provider will be used for streaming. So if you are hosting on Vimeo or Dropbox, we're not. The client is consuming bandwidth directly through that hosting provider. So if you're uploading to Dropbox, you'll be using Dropbox bandwidth. Subtitles can be loaded if the videos are hosted externally, and external 360 videos are not supported. So those are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 limitations of hybrid hosting videos. Everything else works with hybrid hosting the same way that it does with videos uploaded directly to Google Player. Grant is saying, can Google Player serve vertical video? Yes. Yeah, and these, I mean, any video can be vertical video, and I don't know that I have one maybe in my library. I'll just try and quickly find one. Maybe. I don't think I have one. But I mean, basically, it doesn't necessarily matter. I think this is a vertical video. I believe this is a vertical video. So let me quickly demonstrate this with a non-vertical video and with a vertical video. So let me just get a sandbox up and running so that we can look at what's going on. So we'll take this video, which is not vertical. So I'll grab the publish code for that. And here you'll see that we have the general Google Player embed code. And here, I'll just turn this off for a second. And here no, not necessarily. This is the 4.2, never mind. So, and here we have the custom aspect and ratio orientation. So if I come over here and click on custom aspect and ratio orientation, you'll see that gets auto-populated with the option auto-detected. So for videos we detect, we calculate how high it is and how wide it is, and based on that we calculate the aspect ratio. That's where you see this 0.56 value, which means that the height of the player is 0.56 of its width. So that's a standard 16:9 video format. Whereas with the vertical video, and if I come over here to that, and I turn on that custom aspect ratio and orientation, was I already on this? I think I already got into, let me just double check which video was this. And yeah, this was the sorry, this was the vertical video which I selected. Yeah, so that's the the width ratio is 0.56 of the height of the video. So that way you have I have domain restrictions in place, but you get the idea. This will be the video player which would play through here. So basically all you need to do when you upload a video, you can just turn on this custom aspect ratio and orientation. And even if you can change this, so if you don't want it to have auto detected, you can force it to be a square. So if I re-embed now, you'll see that now it loads as at a ratio at 1:1. So this will be the video player, and you can change that aspect ratio to anything that you want, HD standard, widescreen, ultra. So there's this 4:1 ratio and so on. But basically, you can select any of these or just leave it on auto detected, and that will just change this. I keep highlighting it, and I don't know if anybody noticed. It changes this aspect portion of the embed code. and you can just manually fiddle with that if you want to, but that just changes it from, so here if I'll just grab that and paste it over here. So this is what a 1.3 looks like. So this is a 4 to 3 ratio, and I can come here and say I want ratio that's 2 and run that, and we'll see that that's much different. So you get the idea of how that works. That aspect part of the embed code is what's dictating the ratio of the embed. And for videos which are uploaded, we, as I mentioned, auto detect that, as well as give you the option to use your custom values for embedding. So hopefully that answers your question, Grant. We're gonna start wrapping up for the day. Existing subtitles on a Vimeo video will work in VooPlayer, I assume. That's a great question, Damon. And as I mentioned, that is one of the limitations of hybrid hosting. At this time, at least, and we want to work heavily on improving this, but at least at this time, subtitles cannot be loaded if the videos are hosted externally. So for, like, instance, for YouTube videos or for Vimeo videos, if there are subtitles which exist there, we are not able to serve them. Wondering if Stephen is saying, wondering if the AWAPS API might allow bucket stats to be imported into VooPlayer dashboard somewhere to monitor overall usage without an additional login, like a snapshot of total uploads or something like that. I think easy scaling features might be a plus. Yeah, definitely, Stephen. I don't know if necessarily I understand what would be the added value of that in VooPlayer. Maybe just shoot us an email at support@vooplayer.com and just ask for me, and we can take that conversation off the webinar so that we can understand better what would be the added value, what kind of stats you would want to see, and why they would be beneficial inside of VooPlayer. Grant is saying an interactive video hosting service called ThingLink allows the user to click on hotspots icons to generate interactive pop-ups. Does VooPlayer have something similar, and does it work well in response to website for use on mobile devices? And is there such a feature for 360 video? Dean Cool have demo online? Yeah, so all of these are easily Grant. So all of these questions can easily be answered in our knowledge base. So if you come over here to the knowledge base and, for example, just search for 360, you'll find that we provide 360 video support. If you look for the what were the other questions? Hotspots. Sorry, we're calling them overlays, but there's a good video, particularly. So we have what we're calling overlays, interactive overlays and annotations is something that you should take a look at. And there's that video. Maybe, I think. It's not this video, but I'll share this as well. This is a good example. But let me just find VooPlayer hotspots, is I think directly referring to what you are asking about. So you can add hotspots like this inside of VooPlayer and customize them to your heart's content and figure out how to best engage your viewers. I just provided some resources there regarding our overlays and hotspots. And if you want, Grant, just follow up at support@vooplayer.com, and we can help you define the best solution to your use cases. Clark is saying they're used in contests and the hotspots overlay. Kind of. Stefano is saying I'm experimenting new Zenler online school. They say that the videos can only play from the chosen domain name. Is it still possible to download them? Hard to say without taking a look at what they're offering and what the video looks like embedded in their platform. It'll be really hard to say. So if you have a VooPlayer video embedded inside of is it New Zenler? I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. If you have a video which works on that platform that's hosted on WooPlayer, we can gladly take a look at that page and figure out what are the risks or advantages of using that type of a solution. All right, cool. We are slightly over the time for the day, but great questions today. I want to thank everybody who took the time to join this week. WooPlayer is pretty cool, and we hope to see you next week as well when we continue to improve WooPlayer. Thanks again, everybody, and see you next week. Bye.